The following segment is sponsored by Daniel A. White and Associates. It does not necessarily reflect the views of WDEL or Forever Media. Rick Jensen on 1150 AM, 1017 FM, WDEL.
Well, you know, I've been a client of Dan White and Associates, specializing in retirement income for many, many years. Very happy, very pleased, too. In fact, got a lot of great advice from Dan, saved me a whole lot of money, especially as we headed into the horrible recession that's happening this year. And headed in a time of stock market collapse, basically this time last year as well. On the phone right now is Andrew Wood. He's been on many times before with a tip of the day from Dan White and Associates. Hey, Andrew, how you doing?
Doing great, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing well. A lot of changes coming down with the Secure Act 2.0, Social Security updates and changes. What's going on?
Yeah, so we spent a lot of time over the last, let's say, couple months just kind of deciphering exactly what's going on with the Secure Act 2.0. Actually, our next Sunday's radio show specifically on the different layers of the new Secure Act 2.0. Today, I wanted to just talk about some of the impacts and changes that Social Security, what has happened this year in particular. So, you know, a lot of things obviously going on specifically with inflation. So anyone who's receiving those Social Security checks should have gotten that big bump, 8.7%, largest jump for cost of living adjustments in Social Security since 1981. So, again, that should be impacting those individuals. Average payment, monthly payment, and actually I thought this was all pretty low, but for 2022 was $16.81 per person per recipient.
Really?
That got bumped up to about $18.27. So pretty nice bump to help, you know, those individuals combat inflation.
You know, Andrew, you think about that $1,600. I mean, I think the max is like $4,000 or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, that max actually just got bumped up pretty significantly. It's closer to $4,500 actually. So, yeah, it's $4,555. Now, in order to get that, you'd have to maximize into the system over a 35-year period, and on top of that, you would have also had to wait until age 70 to get that check.
Well, all the good reason to keep on working and wait till 70. So that $1,600. I don't know, it tends to indicate that you get a lot of folks who made less money or worked fewer years. I mean, that's kind of the way it works, isn't it?
Correct. They use your highest 35 years of earnings. Now, on top of that, majority of recipients do elect to take those benefits early. Lots of different reasons for that. That's a whole different topic. But yeah, you do see a lot of individuals that just don't want to wait. You know, they want to get what's theirs.
You know what, that makes sense, because if you're at 62 years old and you say, I want to take it now, I mean, you're giving up thousands and thousands of dollars had you waited to you're 70 years old. So, you know, that makes sense, Andrew, that people are just taking the money now at 62 because they say, well, I don't care, I want it now. Man, I was looking at some of those numbers thinking, okay, I'll cut lawns on the weekend. Oh, wait, Randy's already doing that. Okay, I'll do something else until I'm 70, you know? I mean, what are you going to do, Andrew? You're going to wait till you're 70? You're going to take it earlier when you're 62?
I got a long way to go, and I will hold off until 70. So
there you go.
Well, it depends on what the rules are at that point. Hey, one other thing, Rick, and I think this is interesting. I run into a lot of people who over the years, you know, towards the end of the year, they notice an increase in their paychecks. And a lot of those times it happens because of the Social Security earnings wage base. Mm-hmm. So just last year, the cap was $147,000. So if you made over $147,000, or you reached that point at some point in the year, you stop paying into Social Security for the year. So for those individuals, for this year, that bumped up to about $160,000. It's $160,200. So it's about $13,000 more income that you got to pay Social Security wage taxes for this year. So for those individuals, you might wait a little bit longer to get those little pay increases, through your paycheck.
And that's a debate too, by the way, not just in Congress, but also just with folks here in Delaware, South Jersey. We talk about this stuff too. Shouldn't everybody pay into Social Security? Should there be a cap at all? Because if there was no cap, well, we would probably likely never have to worry about insolvency, at least not for a long time.
You're spot on with that. That's actually something that has been introduced. It's a little bit more complicated than than capping it at 160 or just eliminating a cap. But if you look at the Social Security Expansion Act, that is a bill that is out there, hasn't been passed or anything like that yet, but they're looking at changing those figures up as well.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you guys at Dan White and Associates are always involved with what's going on in D.C. and keeping an eye on that for us as well. Anything else?
One other thing, for anyone who is taking those Social Security checks prior to full retirement age, they did increase that earnings limit, the earnings test limit. So prior to this year, for every $2 of income that you made over $19,560, again, prior to full retirement age, you would have to pay $1 back. They bumped that number up to just over $21,000. It's $21,240. So they give you a little bit more flexibility there if you are working and you've taken your Social Security check prior to full retirement age.
Yeah, I thought it's funny when you hear someone who's older saying, I can't make more money. Well, why not? I'll lose it in taxes because I'm on Social Security. And you got people who are like in their 70s who love working and want to do stuff, but they said, no, don't pay me. I'll make too much and actually lose money. At a certain point, I guess you do lose money, huh?
Highly recommend anyone who's thinking about taking Social Security prior to full retirement age and working at the same time. Make sure you have that conversation with someone who understands those rules. So, to make sure you're doing what's best for you.
You're a good one to talk to as well about that. That's Andrew Wood, Dan White & Associates. Give him a call at 888-690-8820. 888-690-8820. Just Google Dan White & Associates if you like. Or you can just go to, well, he was an early adopter to the Internet, so danwhiteandassociates.com. Sunday morning, 7 o'clock. Well, we all did that. It's a really long name, not realizing, oh, yeah, maybe we should have shortened it. But, hey, it's Dan White & Associates. Sunday morning, 7 o'clock, the layers of the new Secure Act 2.0, as Andrew said. Andrew, thanks for the call. Thanks for the tips, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
All right, buddy. 302-529-1017, 302-529-1017.